Welcome to our learning in Hishtapchut Nefesh, starting the new year, but continuing where we left off in chapter 96. We're actually almost through the whole cycle again. We'll start again. We'll make Hitbodedut, and then we'll get to it. We were supposed to be getting together at our normal place, but something happened, so we're actually not even. You're seeing this on video. I'm in my room by myself, and there's people, somebody on Skype, our Hangouts actually. We'll be hopefully revisiting our regular format of meeting live Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock in Nachal Ot. Please join us. But in the meantime, for just tonight, we're just going to learn something, one little short chapter to get back into it. So, Haredi mitzkasher atzmi, v'atzmei b'lim Torah zu, l'kol hatzadikim ha'amitim shebeduenu, l'kol hatzadikim ha'amitim, shochnei afar, kedoshim asher b'tzayim aprat l'Rebbeinu kadosh, tzadik yisod olam, nachal novehem kol chochma, Rebbe Nachman ben Fegya, Nanach Nachman Newman, Zchusam Yegen Alein Kol Yisrael, Amen. And if you don't have access to a text, you can go to Google. You can go to breslovbooks.com, I believe, or at breslovbooks.org, and you can find a free download of Hishtapchut Nefesh. You also might be able to even find English translations, but definitely can try to find it in Hebrew. So here we go. He says like this: Tzadik Vav 96. And may it be will Hashem that this limud, there should be healing and salvation for everybody who needs healing and salvation, including all the people who are having a very difficult time right now for whatever reason they're having it, and may it be your will also that that you should let the best person be president of the United States, who's going to be bringing the most of your glory into the world and helping your holy chosen people, and the person who's going to bring a good be a shliach for you to bring goodness in the world. Ken Yehatzon. That person should be president. Okay, Hadibo Peh Yesh lo koach gadol ma'od. Speech has a very great power. The words that you speak with your mouth, great power. כמו שאנו רואים במה שתיקנו לנו חכמינו זיכרונו לברכה, שמי שחלם לו חלום לא טוב, יטיבנו באפת לעשות למלא חלומתה וחזס, כמה פעמים. Says, so that here's an example of how powerful speech is, that we can see from our sages that there's a tradition that the sages bring down from in the Zohar that says a person who dreamed a bad dream, and we're talking about it like a nightmare, like one of those dreams where, God forbid, the portents are all there, and you wake up and you remember all the details, and you can see and you get the feeling that something terrible is going to happen, and we all know that these types of things happen, and the person feels like something horrible is going to happen. He says you make it good in front of three people that tell you, you tell over your dream, and three people say it was a good dream that you saw. It was a good dream. They say it several times. ובזה רואים נפלאות תקיפוס הדיבור, שאף על פי שבאמס חלם לו חלום רע, אף על פי כן על ידי שמטיבים אומרים לו בפיהם חלומתה וחזז כמה פעמים, בזה יש להם כוח שיהיה החלום באמת טוב. So we see that these people have this power. We see the power of speech. That even though the dream was really true, that he had dreamt something that was horrible about to happen, and nevertheless, because three people used their speech to cause the minion to say this is good, because they said it out, they actually had the ability to transform that bad dream, that bad portent that was going to happen into Tov, and to completely transform it from evil to good. And we see in this, now, people who are from a sophisticated country, I can even hear my own thoughts on this, like coming from the West. And what do you mean? Like, okay, so really, do you believe that three people coming along and are going to say you dreamed a good dream and that's going to make it good? So the answer is yes. This is part of imuna. This is part of developing the ability to surrender. That we surrender our doubts and our intellect into this place of just believing in what the tzaddikim and the righteous people, the righteous saints that are full of awareness of godliness, what they teach us, and we learn to trust the power of our speech. I'm talking about my own personal experience. I didn't realize coming from the West how much doubt I had about these types of things. It wasn't a cynical doubt. It was hard to really believe that I can cause anything to change through my speech. But the more I really thought about it, I realized everybody actually knows this to be true. Where do we see it? We see it in positive mental attitude seminars. They all talk about how yeah, sorry. They all talk about how you have to say out your positive beliefs and what's going to happen, and you keep doing it, and you create your world through your words. And so this is not a new idea. It's just, and it has to be that it can. It has to be that there's a possibility to use the words without awareness of Hashem. Otherwise, that's the end of free choice. So what Rebbe Nachman is saying over here is that words themselves, even just saying the words, even like what these people in the New Age people that say that the idea of saying and being positive and saying statements of affirmation statements, that this is a true thing, that words have great power, right? And so we see that we can see this. So נמצא שרואים בזה כמה גדול כוחו של הדיבור הקדוש, כי דיבור יש לו כוח גדול מאוד להפוך את האדם עצמו גם כמרע לטוב. So if we see that there's power in speech, and then we see the idea that you can transform a dream, etc., we can see that there's a very great power, especially in holy speech, because speech has the power to transform a person himself from evil to good, right? Because we've seen this now many times now, that this idea of that the main way that a person is going to fight the inner battle, the main way you're going to fight your inner battle, which is to overcome physicality and to remember, be aware of Hashem, to let go of ego, to let go of all the negative traits, because as it comes as a result of letting go of ego. This can only be done. The Yetzer Hara doesn't want you to do that. The Yetzer Hara wants you full of yourself. The Yetzer Hara wants you full of physicality. The Yetzer Hara doesn't want you to learn Torah. The Yetzer Hara certainly doesn't want you to pray, and especially not to talk to Hashem in your own language like you talk to your best friend. So there's this major battle. So he says the main victory in this battle, we've seen this over and over, and that's we're trying to drum it into our heads. You might say, well, we've already said this before. How many times do you pray? How many times do I pray? We need to be reminded, and to remind ourselves, and to remind each other over and over, without taking it personally. Because a lot of people, we a lot of times we grow up with these deep feelings of maybe I'm no good, and so when I forget, I forgot again to pray. No, don't remind me. It really hurts me to realize that I'm a dummy. but that's why there's a resistance when your friend your friend tells you, did you remember to pray? And it's like, leave me alone. But no, we have to let go of that. We have to let ourselves be reminded. We have to realize that we're dummies. But understand, it's not just that we're dummies. We have a Yetzer Hara. Prayer is powerful. Speech is powerful. The Yetzer Hara is going to try to make us have forgetfulness. So we have to constantly remind ourselves, each other, and did you pray? Did you pray about it? When you're talking to a friend and they say something to you, I gotta figure out what I'm going to do. Ask, did you pray about it? And don't let them get annoyed at you, because that's the Yetzer Hara that wants them to not pray. Get them to really be with you, and also you with yourself. Do you ask yourself, did I pray? Get used to, did I pray about this? Am I just trying to make a decision? Or did I really say to Hashem, to God, Creator, my Father, I'm trying to figure out X, Y, Z, and you know what? Ultimately, I don't even know. But you know, so please illuminate me your truth, what's for the highest good and the sweetest way. That type of, you want to always get used to this. We have to over and over. So we're talking about winning the war. Hashem, I want to remember you. I don't want to forget anymore. I keep forgetting to pray to you. I don't want to forget to pray to you. I'm begging you, please let me remember to pray to you. Let me remember that everything's from you. Let me remember that you're taking care of me so I don't have to get uptight anymore. This is the power of speech. Hashem, he's going to even say a little bit more here. It's really a little bit later. What he says is really nice. It's an actual practical example of how to pray about coming close to Hashem. He says, "V'zeh ikar klei zayin, shehu ikar klei zayin shel Yisrael." This is a main weapon of the Jew. Is our voice, is our prayer. Ki ein kochenu ele b'peh. We don't really have any strength, it seems, and this is another point of belief, point of surrendering. Your five senses might tell you other. My five senses, my main power is I take a jackhammer and I break things apart, and then I take some building materials and I build them together, and look, and I'm building this big tower. Guess what? Yeah, you might be right, but in the end, this world is not the point. The point is the development of our neshama, our soul in this world, and that's the main weapon for that development. That's the main battle. So the main weapon is really in the mouth, is the power of prayer. V'zeh ikar klei zayin shel Mashiach, and he says this is also the main weapon of Mashiach, of the Messiah. V'shel kol tzadikei emet, and also the main weapon of all the true tzaddikim. Shekol klei zaynam hu rak al yedei tefillah v'dibur kadosh. The main way they fight the battles of this world is only through prayer and holy speech. V'chein ikar bitul hashichacha. This is what I was alluding to before. To nullify forgetfulness. V'lizkos lezikaron dikdusha. To remember holy awarenesses. To not to get pulled into the, for instance, not to get pulled into, people get all uptight about the election going on, right? We said the people get all uptight. Oh, this one's got to win. This one's got. I also get pulled in. It's an amazing thing to watch myself. After working on all these ideas about recognizing it's just Hashem and Hashem's running the world, and even though it seems like this president is doing this, it's all from Hashem, right? So it's easy to get pulled in. We all get pulled in, but that's a form of shichacha. That's a form of forgetting. So how am I going to remember? I have to ask. This is the main way that all the tzaddikim maintain their awareness of Hashem. I was talking with somebody not too long ago about that it's hard. It's something we have to get used to. Not only to get used to prayer, but we also have to get used to watching Hashem create this moment, as opposed to always just my only awareness is that I'm doing X, Y, Z. And that's true, but we have to really get used to recognizing that whatever X, Y, Z I'm doing, and my thoughts are also all being created brand new this moment by the Creator. And how can that be? It's called a paradox. We do not have the ability to solve that question. This is called faith. Faith is above intellect. So we have to understand that this main ability to remember that Hashem is creating each moment. That's and to remember holiness, and to remember, oh, that's what I'm looking for. And I want Torah. I want things that are going to bring me to a higher level. I don't want to go out to the bars and look at girls. That's not what I want to do. It's easy to forget that. The Yetzer Hara wants us to forget that. But the main way to remember is through prayer, is through asking for it. La'adbeka b'machshavte ba'alma da'ate. In order to cleave our thoughts to the world to come. B'chlalius u'pratius b'shlemus. In a general way, and in a specific way, in a complete way. Hurak al yadei dibur. Just through speaking. That's the main way. The main way is only through speaking. Kamosha Amar Zachor b'peh. Like our sages said, remember with your mouth. Ukamosha ro'in b'chush. And we see this all the time. Everybody has experienced this. If you want to remember something, what do? You repeat it to yourself over and over. Right? If you want to remember what you're going to say, you say what you're going to say, and you repeat it. That's how do people learn their lines in a performance, right? They repeat. It's called rehearsal. You go and you say the lines over and over. So therefore, we see that there's this power of remembrance that's associated with saying things. Gam binyan limud hapashut. Also, simple learning things. Shal yidei shechoize mishnaso habeg. By learning Torah, and he goes over his Torah learning again and again. Habe pa'amim b'peh maleh, and he says is out full voiced. Al yedei zeh zocher limudo tamid. He remembers his learning all the time. And that's what we have to do. We have to constantly be saying words, walking along the street, please Hashem, bring me close to you. Please Hashem, have compassion on me. Please, Abba, don't let me forget you. Let me remember. I'm trying to go out and I'm going to go shopping, but I want to keep my mind on that you're taking care of it. I don't want to think about only that I'm going to buy this food and I'm doing it and I'm going to eat it, but I rather want to remember the truth that you're sustaining my life and giving me the gift of life through this nourishment. And even though it looks like I'm the one who's doing it, but I want to remember, Hashem, that's what you're the one who's giving me. You're giving me the money to buy it. You're giving me the blessing. You're giving me all of the ability. I'm asking you to please let me remember that. I'm asking you and I'm begging you. We have to do this over and over because knowing about that you can come to the conclusion in your process of becoming religious and what's called chozeh b'tshuva, you can come to the conclusion that you really believe in Hashem. But in the moment to moment goings on, are you really being present with Hashem? Am I? I know that it's more that it's growing, thank God, but it's still a far way from really being present I would say that I fall out of it more than half the time. I would say, I mean, maybe even 90%. I don't know. I mean, the truth is it's always up and down. There's times when I'm much more aware, and there's times when I fall away, and these are all from Hashem as well. And there's deep secrets as to why a person is more aware and why a person is less aware at different times. But the main thing, again, the main point here is that if you want to come to this greater awareness, the ability to live your life more properly according to the real reason why we're here, you have to develop memory. And how do you develop memory? How do you get away from the forgetfulness? By asking for it. And he says, and this is also, there's this idea of remembering the world to come. Now, there's a couple of different ways that we want to remember the world to come. One of the ways is we want to remember that, oh, wait a minute, this world is temporary, and the world to come is really the main point. We want to be able to remember that, and he's going to give us examples of talking to Hashem about that in a minute. But before we go into that, a very important memory of the world to come is that we want to remember how beautiful and blissful the world to come is. That even though we have to go through this transition period called Gehenna and it's painful, but that's not the point. That's a cleansing. It's except for completely evil, anybody who really has some goodness in them and generally tried to be a good person is going to be cleansed. Hashem is going to clean you, and you're going to go to the next place. The only question is whether you're going to be resorbed in the unity and it's going to be bliss, but you're not going to have your own individual identity, or you're going to be able to maintain an identity as a separate soul and experience the bliss from that place of delineation. So that's but any person who's generally good is going to be going to the next world. But what do you say? We want to remember what's the next world? Bliss. The next world is bliss. So we want to remember that, oh, it's all blissful. This world is an illusion. This constriction, this pain, whatever we're going through, it's really not the real thing. If I can remember that, I can even go through this world and lo aleinu, may God protect us all from having to go through painful things. But once a person has this ability to remember the joy of the world to come and that it's all perfect, to recognize that even this world, even though it seems so imperfect, somehow is all perfect. When we can do that, that's called remembering the world to come. And that's called remembering in a general way. That, wow, it's all blissful. But now we're going to talk about also remembering in the specific way of that, wow, Hashem, the point of why I'm in this world is for the sake of the world to come. So he says like this, She'ikar hayet etza lizkos lezeh hu lachzor hazikaron hazeh b'dibur piv li'os ragil b'chol yom ledaber b'peh maleh minyan hazikaron zeh. that the main point, the main advice to merit, to remembering the world to come and to remembering the points of why we're here and not forget. And when we forget, we get pulled into the physicality. We get pulled into being uptight. We get pulled into ego. That's when we get pulled into going after money and being uptight about whether there's going to be money. We waste years and years of our lives because we think we have to make money. And in the end, that's not why we're here. We're here to learn Torah. We're here to do mitzvahs. We're here to appreciate Hashem's gifts of the loved ones, to the opportunity to give, the opportunity to experience effort and working for the sake of achieving holy results. We're here for that, but the main thing is we're here to bring that with us to the next level. Bring our mitzvot and our Torah learning. That's what we're taught. We're taught that everything that we do here of a physical nature, you can make money. Everybody knows it. When a person dies, they leave everything here. What do you take with you? You take with you your Torah learning. You take with you your mitzvahs and all the holy words. They build structures. It's an amazing thing. It's that if you can get used to thinking this way, it's delightful and blissful. That when I say holy words, and when I talk to Hashem about my life, and all the holy sparks that make up the physicality, they get actually lifted up and become the structures that we're going to be enjoying and glorying Hashem through forever. So how do we get to that? Is to go over it and over this with your mouth, to say out loud, to become accustomed to speaking in a full mouth about having this ability to remember. And he says like this. What do you say? You're walking along, Hashem, what's going to be? What's going to be with me in the next world? Sophie, what's going to be my end? Hashem, I'm wasting my days, and I'm not going to have anything to bring with me. Did I come here to establish myself here? What am I establishing, Chas v'sholom? There's nothing to establish. I'm only going to go. I'm a temporary visitor in this world, even though it seems like a long time. It's really not. Hakol yotin she'en shum kvius b'zeh ha'olam ha'rats v'porech mod. Hashem, everyone knows that there's no permanence in this world that goes by so fast. And mamish just come like a cloud passing. And I only came here, Hashem, to prepare myself. You're telling Hashem what Hashem already knows, obviously. You're telling Hashem, why did I come here? I came, but you're saying it to Hashem as a prayer, and you're also reminding yourself. So you're doing two things here. You're praying to Hashem and saying and talking to Hashem about this conversation about Hashem. Why did I come here? When you know that why I come here, I came here to fill my treasure chest with mitzvahs and learn Torah, and I came here to prepare myself so that I could experience your goodness forever and ever in the world to come and the worlds to come. But Hashem, what am I doing? I'm so immersed in this world. Is that what I came here for? Is this what I came here for? To immerse myself in physicality? Is this what I came here for? To try to make a fortune so that I can leave it to my children, so they can make a fortune so I can leave it to the children, and on, as opposed to focusing on what we're really here for? Is this why I came? And this type of conversation, this is what we want to get used to having. And again, it's something that takes getting used to. It's something that you have to do. You get to over and over and get used to it. And then you can also, and don't forget, ask Hashem for getting used to this. Hashem, I just learned about that. It's good if I can talk to you about the world to come and remembering the world to come. And now that I've heard this idea, I need to get used to it. So please, may it be your will that you should fill me with the ability to become accustomed to talking to you and to mentioning to talk to you in the right way that will bring me to a complete memory of having you, my awareness of you in each of my moments, that I'm aware of why I'm here in this world and I don't keep forgetting. That's what we want to over and over and over. You have to try, and if you fall from it, come back. Don't let yourself there's no despair. If you're good at this, then do it more. And if you're good at this, then ask Hashem, thank Hashem for it, and then ask Hashem to give it to all your brothers and sisters, the ability. If you're not good at this, keep wanting it, keep asking for it. You fall away from it, remind yourself, you know what, I didn't talk to Hashem. Okay, Hashem, right now, I'm talking to you. I'm so far, please bring me close to you. Whatever little bit it is, it's always going to be good. And now he says, if you have the ability to learn Sifrei Musa. Musa is like books of ethics, books of proper behavior, books that talk a lot about and remind a person what the real purpose of this world is. These books, the Sifrei Musa, Habanuyim al Yisodot Emunasenu Hagdosha, that these books are based on the foundations of our holy faith. Because that's what they do. They talk about what's the main point, why we're here. We're here to go through the rectifications for the sake of the next existence. And to spend time talking to Hashem. Make sure that you're spending some time alone. Make sure that if you haven't done it yet, fix yourself a time. Say this is when I usually do my Hitbodedut. I'm going to make myself a regular time that this is when I generally talk to Hashem. B'chol yom, each and every day. And say these things. Don't just think them. It's easy to get in the trap of thinking instead of speaking. And again, it's not that that's not good too. Thought prayers are wonderful, and I highly recommend using a lot of thought prayers, especially holding a voice. We talk people who know the work that I do. I encourage that many, sometimes just holding a voice and putting, or oi is very good, because oi has a lot of power with the emotion, and you can insert thoughts about, like, while you're holding an oi, you can be going oi, and my thoughts are, Hashem, I want to come close to you, and my thoughts are, please let my family have success and love between each other, and I'm holding the thought, holding oi, and I'm thinking, and thank you, Hashem, so much for the amazingness of this world. Even that can fit in an oi. So thought prayers are great. Nevertheless, you have to get used to speaking. It's easy to get trapped in only doing that. And you have to get used to saying words out loud. And saying words out loud, especially when you're not used to it, saying words of prayer out loud, slowly and clearly, especially when you're not used to it, can feel uncomfortable. So you know what? It's the same exact idea as when you're working out physically. You know, when you work out physically, what are you doing? You're placing yourself in discomfort for a sustained period of time, and the more you can stand the discomfort and keep going with it, the stronger and more flexible you're going to get physically. It's the same exact thing. If you do not feel comfortable speaking words out loud, instead of letting yourself stay weak, force yourself at least a little bit that, okay, right now I'm going to spend the next minute, and time yourself, I'm going to say words out loud. It doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes I've seen people who also are learning Torah, and they're not really, they're just reading the Torah. They're reading it, and they're not moving their lips. They're missing the point. It's the speaking of the words that's the main point. It's not reading. We're not reading Torah. We're not learning Torah by reading it. The point is you're saying Torah. You're learning Torah by saying it out. And that's the same idea, to say these things with a full mouth and get used to saying out full sentences. And especially here in our topic, speaking out about Olam Haba, the world to come. And that's like that the verse says in the book of Jeremiah, because from speaking a lot, it's going to cause me to truly remember. And so because the speech has great power to remind us of what we're here for, and to be able to draw even greater awareness of Hashem and the joy of the world to come, the bliss, and that everything really is perfect even when it seems like it's not. So it can keep us the ability to maintain joy and maintain gratitude and deepen the experience of life, is all from this treasure chest. The Hashem gave us this most amazing gift, and all we have to do is realize, you know what? I got to push through that discomfort. I'm going to say the words out loud, even if it's uncomfortable. So what? It's uncomfortable. So what? What? It's going to hurt. It's going to kill you. You start saying the words out loud, and they're uncomfortable. It is. I understand that. It is uncomfortable. So what? If you're doing some push-ups, you start doing a push-up. It's uncomfortable. What, I'm going to stop because it's uncomfortable? No, I want to build up the muscles. I want a nice looking body. I want to feel good in my body. So I keep going because that's what I want. I know the goal, so I don't worry about that it's uncomfortable. Same thing with saying the words out loud. It's uncomfortable when you're not used to it. So what? It's going to kill you? Don't be dummy. You say the words out loud. You'll see amazing things in your life. You won't believe how great the experience is of talking to Hashem and saying prayers and saying holy words out loud. Bepeh maleh. Brothers and sisters, I bless us all. Hashem should grant us the gift of being able to speak true, holy, good words. He should fill our hearts with the yearning that can come out in holy words, and so that we can be brought along in the level of Mashiach, which Mashiach, and everybody, so many people want Mashiach, but what are you willing for Mashiach? Mashiach is the word Messiach, converse. And that is the main Torah. That is the main service of Mashiach, is through prayer. And if you want to connect to Mashiach, then be a prayer. Be a master of prayer. May it be will Hashem that we should all be masters of prayer. Have a wonderful week.